There was a priest who went to visit a catechism class of children because he wanted to see if the young students were learning the true meaning of Easter. And so the priest asks the students, "Why do we celebrate Easter?" One little girl raises her hand and says, "Because of the Easter bunny." Father says, "No, that's not the reason." A little boy raises his hand and says, "So we can get Easter eggs and candy." "No," Father says, "that's not the main reason." Another little girl raises her hand and says, "Because it's spring and we get Easter baskets." At that point, the priest, Father, is getting very, very disappointed, and his face is turning red. And he says, "No, those are Easter traditions and symbols. But what is the reason why we celebrate Easter? What happened at the very first Easter?" A little girl raises her hand and says, "Easter celebrates Jesus coming out of the tomb." "Yes," says Father, excited and relieved that finally the correct answer surfaced. Encouraged by her answer, he continues to ask her a question. So he says, "Jesus arose from the tomb, and what does he do for us?" The little girl says, he looks to see if he can see his shadow, and if he can, he goes back in for another 6 weeks. It's not easy. So in case it's not clear, let me tell you that Easter is about Jesus coming back to life from the dead forever. And the word Easter comes from Old English, meaning simply the east, the sun which rises in the east, bringing light, warmth, and hope, is a symbol of the Christian, for the Christian, of Christ rising from the east, rising from the dead. And Christ is the true light of the world. Today, we're reminded how life, not death, has the final word. You recall that when Jesus was going through his passion, the disciples scattered. They thought all was lost. They felt that the whole time they followed Jesus was wasted. It was such a letdown. And now they were scared of being implicated, scared that they too would be arrested for being accomplices. The point is, they couldn't see God's plan because only God knows all. And our place is to adjust ourselves to his plans, knowing that their end is always love. We may not see it in the difficult moment, in the suffering, but it is always love. The disciples' eyes were fixed on the darkness and death of the moment, but when Jesus rose from the dead, their eyes were opened. And so the message for us today is to have Easter eyes. You've heard the phrase, hindsight has 20/20 vision. But the way we want to see it today is that everything makes sense. That is, God the Father's plan becomes clear when we see things through Easter eyes. Pope Francis, in his homily last night for the Easter Vigil, also spoke about what it means to have Easter eyes. He said, "All too often, we look at life and reality with downcast eyes. We fix our gaze only on this passing day, disenchanted by the future, concerned only with ourselves and our needs, settled into the prison of our apathy, even as we keep complaining that things will never change. In this way, we halt before the tomb of resignation and fatalism, and we bury the joy of living. Yet the Lord wants to give us different eyes, alive with hope that fear, pain, and death will not have the last word over us. Thanks to Jesus, the Paschal mystery, we can make the leap from nothingness to life. Death will no longer be able to rob us of life, for that life is now completely and eternally embraced by the boundless love of God. True, death can fill us with dread. It can paralyze us. But the Lord is risen. Let us lift up our gaze, remove the veil of sadness and sorrow from our eyes, and open our hearts to the hope that God brings. And this is what we want to see and celebrate today on this Easter day. To have Easter eyes. To have Easter eyes also means to look into things, into the darkness and the gloom, until we see the light. There's a bishop friend of mine who wrote a beautiful short reflection on Easter eyes. He said, I wish that we could all have Easter eyes, capable of looking into death until we see life, capable of looking into hurts until we see forgiveness, capable of looking into separation until we see unity, capable of looking into human wounds until we see glory, capable of looking into the human person until we see God, and capable of looking into God until we see the human person, capable of looking into myself until I see you. And in addition to this, to see the power of Easter. Saint Anthony of Padua, pray for us.